it.
Yeah. All right.
So what happened to me yesterday was that I was leaning. I was thinking now we would see a little bit of a pullback, right? So I mentioned that I would be long above this upper distribution, so above 18, 67, 18 or so. So first, I was looking for a short, but then like we reversed. So then I didn't catch the move from the open, right? Because I was like looking for shorts from the overnight session, and then as soon as we opened, I think we only moved like a tick down from the open, and then we started rallying. I was not in the first initial move, but then when I saw that we were very strong, both ES and NQ, and we came back above inside this upper distribution, and then we closed that gap to settle. Then I started looking for longs, and then I just, once I saw that it was so strong, I was like, okay, well, we're likely gonna retest the previous week's high. So I took a long trade and I just let it play out, because we also had some single prints. So I knew that at that point a pullback was going to be a little, there was going to be buyers at those single prints. So I just let my long play out. Then it took a little bit. Then we had the IB, right? We had A period, B period. Then we broke above B period. So at that point, I had more confidence in that trade, and then I targeted that 50% extension from that IB range, right? So took this range, added 50%. I think that was about 34 or something like that. I set it on the stream, or 35, I think it was. So I targeted that, and then I was done for the day. Then I scalped a couple more things, a couple points here and there, but mostly I was done with my trades for the day at that point. So not the easiest at the beginning, because I was leaning a little short, but then once we held above this, then I just was confident that we're gonna keep going. And then after we hit that target, we pulled back, and then we went back above the previous week's high. And then at that point, I knew that 6,700 strike on SPX was a play, and then I wasn't trying short at all throughout the rest of the session. I knew that we're likely going to grind up to that level. So, and that's, eventually we did hit it, and then we're now consolidating here. So for today, we have an overnight range that's pretty tight. We usually, after a move like that, we want to see some consolidation. This is healthy. So I'm looking for some balance day somewhere around here. Maybe test this first set of single prints, or even the previous week's high, and then bounce back into this 67.51 that we keep seeing some volume. So the way that I'm looking to trade this is breaking above yesterday's high. Then I'm going to be looking for the upper levels that I posted in the chat, and they're right here. We have another bullish imbalance targeting the 6,800 area, 67.98. So move towards that area. That doesn't mean that it all has to happen today, obviously. And then if I see that we break above and then we fail to hold, then I'm going to be looking to fade that to the 67.52 area. Same thing if we break below the overnight low, looking for cleanup of this single prints. We have 3 sets of single prints. And then anywhere here we could see buyers just take control and then move back into this same consolidation area. So first area obviously is the single prints. Second area would be the previous week's high. Now once we get inside the previous week's high, if we accept inside below the previous week's high, then I'm going to be looking for a little bit of a stronger move down into the 67.22, which is this high volume node. It's the point of control for this session, and then some support here at this green area that we had yesterday marked as resistance. Now this is we gotta see if it becomes support. Now if we break this area, the 67.14 or so, then I'll be looking for a retracement of this distribution, right? Which is, this session right here. We had a kind of 2-day balance right here, which is the bottom of this distribution, and this session right here. So at that point, I'm going to be looking for a stronger move into the 66.92. And then from there, these are the scenarios that I went over a couple of days ago. 66.72 and then 66.49 are the two targets below if we keep this move going after breaking the 66.82 area. So that's it for SPX. We have we have Powell speaking today, we have Trump speaking, we have also what is it, Michigan? No, sorry, PMI at 9:45, and we do have so Trump speaking at 9:50, then some Fed speaking. Trump is speaking pretty much the whole day today. And then Powell speaking at 12:35. So keep an eye on those. So we can see some moves triggered by that. NQ. So NQ also we have this bullish imbalance targeting 25,160. Yesterday, of course we hit that 25,000 level. Same thing. See if we consolidate here, we balance, or if we start pulling back into last week's range. We have two sets of single prints on NQ, and we have a pretty prominent point of control here at 760. So if we move down inside the range, look for that area to be retested. 24,760. Below that we have this spike here that hasn't been tested, and a gap that hasn't been filled. So that becomes a magnet. If we lose this, we start trading inside the spike, we're likely going to retrace that whole spike. So below 660 more or less, 680, look for a move down through the spike and a gap fill at 550. Crude looks like it found some buyers at the 6160 area. Came back all the way to that point of control, and now we are still holding in the same range. So look at all these highs that were not tested. So I'm thinking that this is a pretty strong magnet. The markets don't like to leave this kind of stuff untested. So this is, I think, a pretty strong magnet on crude, 64.60 area. So if this 20 point of control holds, looking for that area. Maybe a butterfly to the 64.60 area would work. And gold just non-stop. I read this morning that China is buying gold, so this thing is just on fire. So maybe it's just looking for that big round 4,000 number. I don't know, before the end of the year. I mean, at this rate, it could be there in a couple of weeks. So I don't know. All right, that's about it for today. All right, good luck.